Gone are the days of letting your sales team run their own outbound campaigns without any help or guidance. Before, it was just using SDR teams to just go find a list on Zoom Info or some other tool and then go and send them a bunch of emails from a sequence that aren't personalized. Those titles haven't been verified and might not even be the right fit. And also, there's no compelling reason to even reach out to them. There's no effort to figure out how you can be a bit more targeted or do kind of more warm outbound. But nowadays, since outbound is super important for helping companies hit their revenue goals, we can't go off of just hand raisers alone to meet our goals. And we're all fighting for that kind of 5% of people in market, which, depending on the tool or how many competitors you have, it can be even harder to figure out how to land that deal. So, running effective outbound campaigns, which can even be used to target people who are maybe showing latent buying intent. So what particularly has been used as like an MQL before, but people haven't hand raised, should be run as full on marketing campaigns. So collaboration between marketing and sales to actually make those most effective. Now, operators now are trying to figure out what is the best way to set these up and to do them at scale and ensure that they are run properly. You can run more targeted outbound campaigns to ICP accounts using some signals. We prefer signals or compelling events to actually run outbound campaigns, especially for SMBs who are a big target for watching these videos, so talking to you. But also for outbound, if you're targeting the enterprise, you can also use signals. It's just the amount of personalization and effort and maybe tactics and money you put into the ABM play will vary because you're trying to land a high value account. So today, I just wanted to talk through some quick tips for how you can actually track the outbound campaign effectively, but also set it up so you can work in collaboration with sales to actually run these plays. So the first thing is there's a ton of tools nowadays where you can actually get signals on accounts or people to go after for outbound. Some of those being Common Room, Pocus, Mad Kudu, so many different sources, are B2B for de-anonymization. We talked about a bunch of them before. Or there's compelling events or things that you know that could be found on that company that would be useful for going out to that account. So it could be that they're using a competitor or it's a buyback campaign or a specific region where you closed a bunch of accounts or companies and you're going after lookalikes. But being very targeted into who you're going after or that signal or compelling event is it's going to make an outbound campaign more effective. The second piece is around the data, like who you're actually going to go after. It's not enough to just tell sales, hey, here are some signals and go willy-nilly, go try and find people and then go set up your own kind of marketing emails to go after them. It should be more of a concerted effort. So there are some tools that can help do this as well, but there's a lot you can do within just your market automation platform and your CRM. So the first thing is to figure out what your signals are. We'll take the most basic one, which could be that you're seeing that there's a change in the company. So maybe a current customer of yours now has moved on to a new company. That's very basic. And it's probably not the best reason to reach out right away. So it's good to have some latency around it and kind of wait, but we'll use that as an example. So if you're able to then have a play or a view to tie that play to show and surface up those records to your sales team within your CRM. And then they can use an extension to actually pick up those records and add them to a specific sequence with messaging that they can personalize and calling and LinkedIn messaging via Outreach or SalesLoft, or they can actually just start the messaging themselves. The great thing about a sales engagement platform is you can actually track back what sequence was used and report on that within the tool, but also send that data over to the record itself. And if you're using a lifecycle custom object like we set up for clients, you can actually take that data, that sequence name, and stamp it onto the record once it gets moved into working and track that actual journey since it's now sales ready, but for an outbound campaign, and then update the lifecycle source campaign for that. The other main thing to do here is also to make sure they get added to a Salesforce campaign. So that way, if there's any pipeline that you want to measure for attribution or influence, that you'd give the credit back there too. It's also the value that you can use in the lifecycle source campaign value as well, especially if you're not also using a sequence name or whatnot. If you don't have the option to set up views, or maybe you want to have the selection of the contacts be on the salesperson itself, you could also do some really cool and interesting things. And you can even send the emails out of another tool. So you could have your reps elect people, put them into a Salesforce campaign, or use like the add to Marketo campaign option within MSI, or even add to workflow via HubSpot. And then you can then trigger off to update the source values and start emailing them, or send a personalized ish email there. It's better if it is personalized stuff from the sales team, but you could run that as well. But that way you can actually track the source as sales outbound, the source detail as the signal or the name of the play, and then the Salesforce campaign is like, the source campaign. Depending on your data structure, obviously this could be different, but it's important to actually be able to track that. And then for the life cycle itself, if you're running custom object, you can actually see it like your the rest of your other campaigns, and see how those people went through your funnel. Was there a meeting booked? Was there an opportunity created? Do you actually close one revenue? And so in your same reporting, you can see what's effective between an outbound campaign or even a marketing campaign, and still use the same level of reporting. But you're also collaborating and making sure that you know that the emails going out and people that are being part of that campaign are the right people, because there is collaboration between marketing and sales as well. So those are some quick tips. If you have any questions on the specifics on how to do this, because it will vary depending on what you're using, definitely reach out to me, DM me, or post a comment, and I'll get back to you.